Well, the News Hounds have one more day of vacation left before they're back to work bringing us the best animal stories of the week.
But they still found a little time to give us a couple of stories this week. First up, otters at Shed Aquarium. Two new pups, Cooper and Watson, are starting to make a lot of friends. In fact, they're now hanging out with the other 4 otters on display. Scientists say socialization is a big step for growing otters. Apparently they have some holiday-themed little presents there. Nice.
That's very cute. And then explorers almost missed sea creature when they mistook it for a rock. Explorers quickly realized they were looking at a Schaefer's anglerfish. They say it has modified fins that act like feet, and that allows it to walk along the bottom of the sea floor. They also say the species is not well known, and seeing it is a very rare treat. Very cool.
Yeah, it's a little it's certainly different looking.
Thank you so much for all of your help.
It is always a fun time here on the 4. Happy to do it.
I really appreciate it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for watching. Mark will be back on Monday.
Yes, he will.
News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
Right now, we're learning how long a man who attacked a UW-Madison student downtown will spend behind bars.
Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald says he won't support medical marijuana legislation while he's in office, plus what he plans to get done in 2020.
And how you and others across the world have helped make a Prairie du Sac man's dying wish come true. We'll hear how tens of thousands of Christmas cards have really made a difference.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Sheriff's office, come on out now! Put your hands up! Do it now!
First tonight, breaking news from the Channel 3000 Alert Center. The Wisconsin Department of Justice, Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and Barron County Sheriff's Office have all released records related to the kidnapping of Barron teenager Jamie Kloss and the murder of her parents. These documents include hundreds of pages plus hours of dash cam video and audio. Barron County released the initial 911 call made by Jamie's mother, Denise, moments before her death. We have chosen not to air that audio. And we'll have more details on this story coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
The man who attacked a UW-Madison graduate student downtown last year will spend 20 years in prison.
Amanda Quintana is here now with more on the sentencing. Amanda?
Dorian Wade pleaded guilty to the brutal sexual assault of a total stranger near East Johnson and North Blair Streets, pushing her into some bushes and forcing her to the ground during the vicious assault. Police sifted through hours of surveillance video and hit a DNA match to track down Wade, who pleaded guilty in September. His attorney asked for 4 years in prison. Prosecutors asked for 18 years behind bars, but because the judge felt he lied in a letter prior to sentencing and didn't seem to admit his guilt, Wade got 20 years in prison plus 10 years of extended supervision. The victim in this case took the stand, and the judge pointed out her courage.
She said it's like a robbery. You robbed her of her sense of peace, her bodily integrity, her confidence. You didn't rob her of everything, because that's why she's here. And that's why she immediately acted to protect herself and to protect everybody else that you might harm in the future.
Wade was ordered not to have contact with the victim or her family. He will also need to register as a sex offender with the state and undergo sex offender assessment and treatment.
Amanda, thank you. The family of 2 brothers from Shawano County who disappeared during a trip to Missouri for their livestock business have now filed a wrongful death lawsuit. It's filed against Garland Nelson, who faces 2 counts of first-degree murder and other charges in the deaths of Justin and Nick Diemel. The suit also names Nelson's mother and her farming company that employed him. The Diemels were killed when they went to receive a payment for cattle. Madison police are investigating a shooting after a man showed up at a hospital on South Park Street with a gunshot wound. That happened last night. Police say the victim in this case will be okay, but they are asking anyone who may have any information to contact Crime Stoppers.
Brendan Dassey will not be pardoned by the state. Dassey and his uncle Stephen Avery are at the center of the Netflix documentary Making a Murderer. At 16 years old, Dassey confessed to helping Avery kill photographer Teresa Halbach in 2005. According to a release from Governor Tony Evers' office, the pardon board requires 5 years to have passed after the completion of the sentence in order to consider a pardon request. Dassey is currently serving a life sentence. The governor says he is also ineligible because he's required to register as a sex offender. Dassey's team of lawyers issued a statement this afternoon in response, saying Governor Evers is not bound by the rules of the Pardon Advisory Board and has the power to issue commutations when courts fail to deliver justice. They say they're not giving up hope, and they plan to work with the governor to develop a process to review commutation petitions.
To weather, mild temperatures sticking around for the holiday weekend and beyond. Now let's check your first alert forecast. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield. Dave?
Yeah, Eric, some spots could be close to 50 degrees as we get closer to Sunday, but for now, the mid-40s will do, and we saw low 40s across the area today. 4 highs, mostly cloudy skies right now in Madison, and temperatures have dipped into the mid to upper 30s across southern Wisconsin. 37 in Janesville, 38 in Platteville, and 42 still the warm spot in Boscobel. Wind chill's not too bad, but it does feel a little bit closer to that 30-degree mark in Madison and in Lone Rock. Visibility, not a concern for most of us. We are starting to see a little bit of fog develop along Lake Michigan, at least the shoreline, that is. There could be some areas of patchy fog as we head into the overnight hours. Day planner, temperature is dipping into the upper 20s to start off Saturday, and once again, highs making it into the lower to middle 40s, about 15 degrees above normal for this time of year. We'll talk about the chances to hit 50 and when we might need to break out that umbrella next in your first alert forecast.
All right, Dave, thanks. And some still are out ice fishing on Lake Mendota for the holiday weekend. Others, though, are hitting the links. That's right. At Odana Golf Course, a sight not typically seen during this time of the year. The golf course announced it'll stay open for golfers through Monday. There's no snow on the ground. Of course, golfers taking advantage of the late season.
As much as we can play, we'll play. So if we could play every day, we would. But we'll keep playing any of the courses that are open as long as there's no snow out. So.
He says he usually stops playing before Thanksgiving. Now, this is the longest that golf course has ever stayed open. Alexander says he'll be out on the course as long as it is able.
New at 5, Governor Tony Evers is taking applications to lead Wisconsin's National Guard and Department of Military Affairs. The appointment will fill the vacancy of Major General Donald Dunbar, whose last day is December 31st. He resigned after an investigation found repeated mishandling of sexual assault complaints. The Adjutant General appointment will be for a 5-year term. To be eligible, you must hold a federally recognized minimum rank of Colonel. For information on how to apply, go to our website, channel3000.com. Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald says there is not a bill for medical marijuana that he will support. In 2020, he hopes to focus on decreasing property taxes.
Amy Reed explains what head lawmakers are planning for the state next year.
Some are going to go through, and I don't know if the rest of them.
In 2019, we saw the state legislature pass a budget, spar with the governor, and vote down a cabinet secretary. Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald told reporters today with some of the other cabinet picks, there are concerns, and he's not sure they'll all be in by the end of the session. What he hopes they do accomplish is a cut to property taxes.
I'm hearing it already in the district. People are a little surprised. I know it's still anecdotal, but people are concerned about a bump in their property tax bill.
He hopes by the end of the legislative agenda, they'll have money left over to return to the public in tax cuts. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos hopes some of the bills they'll take up in the meantime will help with crime.
That's one of the things that we really want to focus on, is to make sure we keep people safe. So we're going to have an entire package of proposals that we'll announce in January that will really hopefully focus on what we think is the root cause of the problem, and that's making sure we have access to mental health care while at the same time locking up the people who commit a crime and deserve to be behind bars.
He also hopes to tackle prescription drug pricing by addressing pharmacy benefit managers, one of the players in healthcare getting the blame for rising costs. But as for a drug some Wisconsinites want to turn to, medical marijuana, while Vos said he would support it, Fitzgerald said with the substances he's already trying to regulate, alcohol, opioids, and meth, he won't take this on.
So we've got all these issues. We're spending all this not only revenue, but just energy trying to get a control on these substances that are just wreaking havoc across the state. I don't know why this is a good time to introduce legal marijuana in Wisconsin. I just don't. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Amy Reed reporting. We also spoke with Senator Fitzgerald about funding to prevent homelessness and the future of the Republican Party in the Wisconsin legislature. For that, you can head to our website, channel3000.com. New video now of two cruise ships colliding next to a port near Mexico's island of Cozumel. That was this morning. Passengers on a third ship posted a video, one Carnival ship colliding with another. According to an initial evaluation by the cruise line, 6 guests with minor injuries were treated in the ship's medical center. Passengers are now spending their day on land in Cozumel.
A stalemate is brewing over what an impeachment trial in the Senate would look like. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer had his first meeting yesterday with Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to talk about the trial. Democrats want to hear from key witnesses, such as acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney and former National Security Advisor John Bolton, who did not testify during the House impeachment hearings.
I told Leader McConnell that we would not support any trial without witnesses and documents.
Calling the Chief of Staff the National Security Advisor, I think is just way out of bounds here.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she's going to hold off on sending the articles of impeachment to the Senate until some of the parameters for a Senate trial are laid out.
Iowa caucus just 6 weeks away now. The top Democratic candidates for president continue to attack one another. At last night's debate in Los Angeles, the biggest attacks were reserved for the surging mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Pete Buttigieg. Entrepreneur Andrew Yang also pointed out a lack of diversity among the candidates. He says those are due to fundraising thresholds. Candidates face questions on the economy, climate change, health care, and how they'd fix what's broken in Washington. An update now on a Prairie du Sac man who asked for as many Christmas cards as possible as his dying wish.
Gene Whitenhiller has stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and thanks to all of you, his Christmas wish came true and then some. Gene has received more than 50,000 Christmas cards. His entire family has been trying to sort through them using all kinds of different methods. Gene says he is so incredibly grateful to everyone who has made what he thinks may be his last Christmas so much more than he could have ever asked for.
Almost feel selfish that somehow I've been singled out to get all these cards. I wish I could share them with everyone else that's suffering from cancer.
Gene says many of the cards made his family cry, others made them laugh, which is something they say they definitely need during this time. If you have a moment today, please go to channel3000.com and check out this beautiful story by our colleague, Jamie Perez.
Jamie's really gotten into this. I know it's been emotional for her. She's really done a beautiful job with it, and best to Gene and his family through the holidays this next week. Coming up next at 5, you may still have a few gifts left on your shopping list. Small business owners talk about how this shortened shopping season between Thanksgiving and Christmas has impacted their sales.
And tonight on News 3 Now at 6, we're asking UW-Madison experts how the newly approved U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement will impact dairy farmers and what still needs to be done.
Closing the week on Wall Street, the Dow up 78 points, the Nasdaq adds almost 38, and the S&P gains about 16. We'll be right back. Children at the Playing Field Early Learning Center in Madison will soon have a new outdoor playground. The Attic Angel Association awarded them a $73,000 grant to repair their existing infant-toddler playground that was damaged by water and create an outdoor sensory playground that's meant to help children deal with their emotions. It's especially important for the Playing Field because they take in children who come from low-income families and may even be experiencing homelessness.
So one of the huge barriers for children in accessing high-quality early childhood, in addition to cost and transportation, is really behavior. Children that are stressed have big behaviors, and they have a lot of feelings they don't know what to do with.
They hope to break ground on this new sensory playground in the spring and have it up and running by summertime.
Babies in the NICU at SSM St. Mary's Hospital who aren't able to go home for the holidays are still getting in the spirit with their own take on how the Grinch stole Christmas. They're dressed up in Whoville costumes today, made by Stoughton dance team members. Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway played along. She played the role of the mayor of Whoville and delivered gifts to families whose babies are fighting to get healthy. That's such a sweet idea. Holiday sales are expected to exceed over $700 billion this year, which is about a 4% increase since 2018.
Gabriella Becerra joins us now with how the shopping season has gone for small business owners. Gabby?
Local shops on Monroe Street were busy today as shoppers are out getting some last-minute holiday gifts. And despite a shorter shopping season this year, small businesses on Monroe say they're feeling the support of their community starting even before Thanksgiving and staying strong past Black Friday. Shoppers have been buying holiday gifts at stores in the neighborhood. Hive on Madison owner says their sales are exceeding last year's.
Shopping overall stayed really strong since Black Friday. There was a little lull that Monday, Tuesday. I think people were feeling a little hungover from all the money they'd spent over the weekend. But the last 10 days has been really vibrant. People are out and shopping.
Shoppers say they're making more of an effort to shop local this year because of the support it provides to their own community. That support can be seen financially when you shop locally. About 68 cents of every dollar you spend will stay in the local community compared to larger chains.
It's great to see Monroe Street hopping again after
yeah.
all that construction those folks dealt with. It's good to see. Gabby, thank you.
Thank you, Gabrielle. And the weather certainly helps. Warm weather for Christmas. And then some. Let's turn it over now to Dave Caulfield with the forecast. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Susan. Yeah, we are talking about temperatures close to 50 degrees as we start the last couple of days leading up to the Christmas holiday. Right now, mostly cloudy skies in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam. Today's high, 41 degrees, about 10 to 15 degrees above normal for this time of year. And these high temperature numbers just keep getting higher as we get into the next couple of days. Nowhere near the record of 62, but still, we're running quite warm for this time of year. 43 the high in Janesville, 41 in Watertown, and 40 in Juneau. 47 the warm spot in Boscobel. I think a number of spots, especially south of Madison, could touch 50 degrees this Sunday. And really, we've seen more mild temperatures than anything else this December. It's just the fact that when we have been cold, we've been pretty cold, and the temperatures have been only slightly mild. So our departure for the month so far is only about 1 degree in the above average category. But I think we'll see a lot more orange boxes coming up over the next few days, because look at these temperatures, folks. Average for this time of year should be in the upper 20s. We're not even going to sniff that. We're going to blast past that. In fact, 20 degrees above normal for Sunday, with some of us close to 50. And then leading up to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we're still quite mild, about 15 degrees above normal for this time of year. When we do return to the 30s, and as we get closer to the end of 2019, the end of December, we're still going to be about 10 degrees above normal, even as those 30s return. So we've been talking about the mild Christmas, or the warm Christmas holiday that is on tap for southern Wisconsin, and this is actually kind of a cool fact, I think. So we'll actually be colder on Halloween this year than we will on Christmas Day. So Christmas Day going to be about 10 degrees warmer than we were on Halloween. This phenomenon has only happened 7 times in history. I think we make it 8 this time around. Last time was in 1982, where we were in the 50s both on Halloween and Christmas, but a few degrees warmer. As far as Doppler track goes, it is either raining or snowing in only 6 out of 50 states across this great nation of ours. So we're pretty quiet, and a lot of other folks are pretty quiet as well, setting up some nice travel weather leading up to the holidays. And really, we're going to stay pretty quiet. Dry and mild is the name of the game over the next couple of days, with temperatures in the 40s tomorrow and as we head into Sunday as well. In fact, well into the 40s for Sunday. And remember, winter starts tomorrow, technically. Tomorrow night at around 10:15 in the evening. The rest of the 10-day forecast is still looking pretty mild. There could be a few rain showers as we head later on Christmas Day, and maybe some rain and snow showers early on Thursday. Not expecting any major impacts there. I think most of us will stay dry. However, as we get into next Sunday, so the 29th of this month, we could be talking about some more rain and snow showers. So let's take a look at your first alert traffic update. We are noticing some slow go in both directions right now on Park Street and the Beltline. Traffic across the area is looking pretty good, although we are noticing those normal slowdowns. We also are noticing an accident on the Beltline a little bit closer to Stoughton Road that is causing some delays in the westbound direction. So that's something to keep in mind. Right now, eastbound University Ave to the interstate, it'll cost you about 35 minutes. So plan ahead, especially for a Friday afternoon on the Beltline. Average speed of around 25 miles per hour, and some other routes in and around Madison running quite slow. Westbound on 12 Middleton to Sauk City, that'll cost you more than a half hour with an average speed of around 30 miles per hour. And that's your first alert traffic update.
All right, Dave, thank you.
Next at 5, we all know washing your hands frequently can help you stay healthy, but are you actually washing them correctly? The story next.
Ebola is arguably one of the most feared viruses on the planet, and the FDA just approved a vaccine to prevent it for the first time ever in the U.S. The vaccine is called Ervebo. Ebola cases in the U.S. are rare, typically involving healthcare workers treating infected people traveling into the country. The Zaire strain of the deadly virus has killed upwards of 2,000 people in the current outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
A new study finds babies who are treated with antibiotics before turning 6 months old are more likely to develop food allergies, asthma, and eczema. Scientists believe it may be due to how the antibiotics affect gut bacteria. The study does not prove antibiotics cause allergies, but there does appear to be a link. Cold and flu season came early this year. So many of us will be spending the holidays trying not to give or get the gift of germs from our loved ones.
Doctors say proper hand washing is one of the best ways to protect yourself and others from getting sick. Tom Hansen reports.
It's a simple and easy way to avoid getting sick or passing viruses and bacteria to others. Washing hands. But many of us are not doing it right or as often as we should.
We want to wash for about 20 seconds or so. But that's not from start to finish. 20 seconds of actually having the soap and lather on your hands and making sure that that lather gets all over the place, under your fingernails and between the fingers themselves.
Dr. Frank Esper is a pediatric infectious disease specialist at the Cleveland Clinic. While soap and water is usually better, he says alcohol-based hand sanitizers are a good option. Look for products that contain at least 60% alcohol. Rub the gel all over until hands are dry. That should also take about 20 seconds.
A lot of kids, especially the smaller children, they're really not able to use soap and water as well as older children and adults. And so for the smallest children, those who are in preschool or those who are just learning themselves, actually using an alcohol-based rub has been shown to be better than soap and water.
Washing your hands before, during, and after preparing food is critical, and you should always wash your hands before you eat. Other musts after using the bathroom, before and after caring for someone who is sick, and after blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing.
If you're sick yourself, all right, that means not only is your nose runny, but that means those germs are also on your fingers and on your hands, and so you should be washing your hands even more so.
So you and your loved ones spread holiday cheer this season, not germs. Tom Hansen, CBS News, New York.
And stay with us. We'll have another check of your forecast in just a moment. Dave's back.
Dave's here with the final check.
Yes,
I almost get it.
We almost did it. And really, we almost stayed in the 30s today, but we did make it to the 40s. Right now, temperatures have dipped into the 30s across southern Wisconsin. We're staying mild, and that includes tonight. We could see some areas of patchy fog as well, with temperatures, oh boy, in the upper 20s.
It's Friday.
Yeah, exactly. The holiday's almost here, and we are staying mild into the holidays, with temperatures in the 40s, a few rain showers possible later on Christmas.
Susan, have a good Christmas. I won't see you.
You
before
too
the
have fun at the
holidays.
Rose Bowl.
Yeah. We'll see you at 6.